1987. I'm going to take you to 1987. This is around the time the intellectuals was 17 years old. Very important year in my life. Why is that? Because at that time, I came in contact with some teachings, right? Teachings that I've never seen before, stuff I've never heard before, and it blew my mind. I'm a 41-year-old man right now, and like I said, I can still remember clear as day being given the dog book. The dog book was dealing with, the Caucasians and things like that, and they're linked to animals. There's a lot of stuff, sons of Canaan. Those of you who were back there in the 80s, 87 and things, even going further back, you remember those books. You remember when they touched you. Those books were written by a man, master teacher, Dr. ᴍᴟ York, known at that time as Imam Isa, right? Through his many incarnations, different name changes and, what have you, I was intrigued by this man. I was fascinated, not so much by the amount of books that he put out, the amount of recordings, the work, and he did a massive amount, 407 books to date from 1967 to now. A massive amount of books, independently intelligent man, learned man. Not so much even learned, but just natural intelligence is what stuck out to me. Yesterday was his birthday. Happy birthday, Dr. ᴍᴟ York. Happy 67th. I'm going to be doing a tribute to him because I felt it was only right to do tributes to my mentors. I did one on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who I referred to as the first bright man to come to the black race. So it was only fitting that I did one to the second bright man. And we're going to do that tonight. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mental Radio. Dr. ᴍᴟ York, very, very, very important figure, not just to black people, but in the world. I've heard people use a lot of his phrases. I don't care whether black, white. I mean, I've come in contact with people who've used his phrases, sayings, certain knowledge that was put in books that came from him. And I was like, wow. It inspired me to do what I'm doing today within the State of Mental. Because unlike a lot of people who came in contact with his teachings, it affected me in a different way. Like I said, the information, wasn't what connected me, what attracted me to this person's teaching or to his movement. What attracted me to it was the intelligence, the fact that it opened my mind up. And I know a lot of people miss that. A lot of people got caught up on information. Because truth be told, you can get information anywhere. All right? You can hear everybody throwing theories up against the wall, philosophies and things like that, but there's always something different. There was something different in his movement, in the movement of the Nation of Islam under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It was something different in his movement that stood him apart from his contemporaries. I came across the books and the style and whatnot, and people even see it in my delivery when I teach the Supermen, Superwomen project, that I was influenced by this great man, and I take it as a compliment. I'm not trying to copy his style or his movements or anything like that. It was just an unconscious thing. Nor am I trying to actually copy anything that he taught. It is an evolution that this man set forward in motion. A lot of people didn't see that because a lot of people were too hung up on book titles and, like I said, hundreds and hundreds of book titles over the years. What I believe, or should I say, but I don't even want to use the word believe because we stopped using that word within our ranks because Dr. ᴍᴟ York pointed out that in the word believe, you see the word lie, right? These are ways of thinking that are induced in people. Doesn't necessarily have to be true, but they are induced in people. What I acknowledge his contribution to be, which is the greatest of all his contemporaries, is that he opened the minds up of people. He made us look beyond our present state and made us look into the future, made us open our minds. That's how he resonated to me. As I'm doing a tribute on him, I don't want it to seem like I'm, doing something, pushing them toward, to the side. No, it's more, like I said, a tribute to my mentors, because without the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, without Dr. Malachi Z. York, I couldn't do what I'm doing. I always looked back to the mentors, or looked toward the mentors. I consider the Honorable Elijah Muhammad one of the past, though his work is still in the present. Dr. Malachi Z. York in the present stage, still a powerful man, and his work is presently seen. And me as the present future, one who is continuing with the evolution. Now, a lot of people would see something wrong with that. A lot of people would, people who are personality driven, people would say things like, "Oh, brother, what you trying to say? Dr. Malachi Z. York, the Lamb, he laid it down, and this, that, and the third." Yes, he did, and he continues to lay it down, even from in his circumstance that he's in right now. But the whole point of him laying it down was to raise children who were listening to adulthood, to grown men and women who would continue to carry on the torch. Because if any good teacher is going to inspire his students to go further. All men are mortal in this earthly realm. All men have an end point in this earthly realm. I have an end point. I'm not going to live forever. Dr. Malachi Z. York wasn't going to live. It's not going to live forever. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't live forever in the physical realm. So the continuation has to happen. Someone else has to come. Someone always has to. As the sun is rising and setting, another sun is rising. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that. It'll be people who will put the work in. It'll be people who will deliver the message. Though nobody's going to be just as effective in their delivery as both of these men. Both men were unique. I came into the school of Islam under Dr. Malachi Z. York. Right? Took my Shahada, and I remember walking down Bushwick Avenue. Never been in that section before. I just saw the Hall of Knowledge and the masjid. Right? I saw it on the books, and I saw the building of a community. And it looked like something out of the East, out of Arabia, and I was like blown away. How this man could actually get this thing going, the mind that this man had to, have to engineer this thing to get these people to cooperate. Because everybody knows it's hard as hell to get black people to cooperate with each other and work together. So he was able to do that. Aside from his detractors and the people at that time, your silly Muslims and all the people who had a problem with him, promoting black, Nubianism and Islam, and promoting black Muslims and our evolution in the so-called religion and that way of life, and putting us up over everybody, whereas the Arabs put everybody up over everybody. No, a lot of so-called black Muslims had a problem with that. Had a problem with this man putting images of Muhammad and the prophets and and his companions in the books as black. That took us to so many places. Those images in the books took us away from the hoods and things like that, and the harsh reality of where we were living, and took our minds elsewhere. Opened up our imagination. Anyway, coming across Bushwick, looking at that as I'm, getting off the J train, looking at that building, walking up and being amazed. I was with my brother at the time. I got off the wrong stop. I got off at the L train, and I had to walk all the way back, but I didn't mind because I didn't know the lines like that. I've been living in New York, most of my life, and I ended up walking back. Came there, and like I said, was blown away. First place I went was in the bookstore. Everybody, I felt the warmth there already, the love, the community, and everything, and it was like, I was like, wow. To come from Brownsville, East New York, to see, niggas fighting with each other in the streets and, arguments and disagreements. I didn't see that there. I saw men on guard protecting the women and the children as it should be. Right? He made an example out of the black man to make him do what he's supposed to do, and that is be father, protector, and fosterer of his family. Right? Just in the small things like that people miss. I know people get hooked up on the books and all the knowledge and things he dropped. Yeah. All right. Love that. Beautiful. But like I said, just the things like that is what stood out to me, the way of life that people miss. Pushing black men to be responsible, pushing black women to nurture their children, extending the education of the children, getting them to learn the Arabic language, engulfing them in that culture for that time. Controversial as hell, writing books that pissed a lot of people off in the Islamic world, right? But it was the truth. It was my first time seeing people get angry like that at truth coming out. And like I said, that sparked me in my evolution of putting the truth out. To be like, I don't give a damn. If this man could stand up against all the things he stepped up against, and even to this day, still standing strong, then what the hell is the black man's excuse? I got no excuses. He's a living example. Even in this situation he's in. Strong man. Strong mind. Highly intelligent. Will not break this man. Those books opened a passage in the minds of the intelligent ones of our people. Those books made a connection. They made us look into the future. I said that the difference between what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did, because everybody talk about Dr. Ben and the Egyptologist and Garvey. Everybody talks about the 5% nation. Everybody talks about that. Yeah. Right. And I'm not taking anything from these people, but what made these people stand out again, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Dr. Malachi Z. York, is that these men were future thinkers. You understand? These men's minds opened my mind up. Brilliant. Because they opened themselves up to receive. I refer to them as the two receivers, the two receptionaries. The two receptionists. And Dr. Malachi Z. York always referred to himself as the receiver. And I didn't quite understand it at the time. And then as I saw, him teaching class, and just being in the room with somebody like that, it was like mind-blowing. Now, you're hearing them on the tapes and things like that, but actually seeing the presence of the man and teaching, and you're like, wow, it's not like any other, it's different from any other teacher. Because, like I said, I heard guys teach before, and he's like, yeah, Egypt, Africa, history, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But this was something otherworldly. Stood out. I didn't need the pictures and things. Like, the pictures were nice. Like I said, they added to the imagination. But the strength of the word and the putting forward of a new people out of the black race was powerful. To call our people Nubians at that time was powerful. He inspired everybody from Brand Nubian in the 80s and the hip-hop movement, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest. Everybody, said something about Dr. Malachi, the intelligent hoodlum, what's the guy's name, Tragedy. Everybody quoted lyrics from the 5%. Everybody quoted something from this man's books. So he made an impression. Hell, I even heard Denzel Washington say overstanding one time in his movie, which came from Dr. Malachi Z. York. This man is a great, great star in the sky of intelligence, in the endless and continuous sky of intelligence, in the universe of intelligence. Bright star that's still burning, right? But a lot of people, unfortunately, are not going to see that. People will remember and acknowledge him for just the books, just the information. Why? Because a lot of our people have become information junkies. They missed the point that the whole thing was to open up their intelligence. not to just sell them books and talk about Egypt and Africa. Because, long story short, Egypt and Africa is a very short story. The Egyptians was black. They ruled the society. The end. The end. It's nothing deep. If you wasn't there to see what these people did, then what the hell, who cares? It made us look into the future. All right? The introducing of Nuwapu, right knowledge, and all of that in the beginning in 1967 under Amanubi Rakata, which was one of his many different titles. He he wrote a book also around that time, Behind the Nine Ball, and another book called The Mind. And like I said, that right there, that followed a chain of events. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the black man is mentally dead. Then Dr. Malachi Z. York follows it up with the mind. So, in this day and time, me forming an intelligence community, a future intelligence community dealing with the mental power, makes sense. The reception was getting stronger. These men were instruments to this higher intelligence that was coming through them, not from them. That's the difference why I could never figure out at the time. I said that was the knowledge from people like Dr. Benz and all these people. That was knowledge coming from them. Dr. Malachi Z. York and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had knowledge coming through them. Though, like I said, in the past recording, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was taught by Fard, but you've seen the evolution after Fard left. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. You saw the evolution in the things that Dr. Malachi Z. York taught. It wasn't about Islam. It wasn't about Christianity. It wasn't about Egyptology. It wasn't about the Hebrew school. It wasn't about Masonry and whatnot. These were schools that had to be going through out of necessity to open the door to something else. These men were responsible for opening the door to someone else, or something else, a higher intelligence, as instruments of the higher intelligence. But to their followers, to the people who are not wise enough to see, they make it about these men. These people become personality driven. Right? They focus on the man. Yeah? They become Yorkites. They become Elijahites. You understand? And they forget that these men were instruments of a message. They were being used. They were being sent messages telepathically and receiving them and passing them out. Now, like I said, to the thick-headed nigga who don't understand that, oh, what you trying to say, brother? You trying to say that Dr. York, he wasn't bringing no knowledge? Hell no, he wasn't bringing no knowledge from himself. He referred to himself as the receiver. And he also talked about, preparing the Mu'minun and Mu'minati, the children, for something else, like brides. Those of you who are around who remember the old teaching. And I'm talking about the Johnny-come-latelys. One of the biggest reasons I decided to do this broadcast on him is I'm drawing a line of evolution. And Dr. Malachi Z. York is definitely a big part of that evolution in the future intelligence of the bright race, the solar intelligent race. You understand? He's a big part of that. Like, without him, there'd be no me. Without the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, there'd be no him. He said it himself, he was the successor to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I acknowledge that to be the truth. See, because successes don't come through organizations. Real successes build separate organizations, all right, and bring different schools of knowledge. They don't come as successes or people who come up in the ranks of that organization. You understand? Those type of people who call themselves successors, those are nothing but people who are glad handing their way to the side, to the top. They the ones that didn't really put the work in. It wasn't about them. It was about those men who led those movements. And after those men are done, there will be nobody to come behind them from that movement. There'll be someone totally different to start a new movement, a new society, a new state, a new nation. And that person is going to bring a new and higher knowledge. Because that person would have to go through all the things that those two predecessors went through prior. He would have to go out into the street and build and gather people himself, not some nigga that's just feeding off of the energy of those two great men. Niggas that's coming behind them and trying to restart and redo things. No. You got to get your ass out and build and start with 1 and 2 and 3 followers like the master teacher did. Like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did when Fard left and everything fell apart. You understand? That person to come would have to do that. Build from nothing. Be an instrument to the evolution of the people, not make it about him. That people will do that. People will make it about a person. Right? Each bit of knowledge these men brought was evolutionary knowledge, bright knowledge, light knowledge, all meant to open the minds of the people to receive more from on high. On high is what? The future. Because it was always about the future. It's not about the past. It's not about the present. It's always about the continuous future. People got stuck in that whole thing. You got simple-minded Negroes still walking around wearing Egyptian crowns and feathers and whatnot. We in 2012, and we ain't moved on from that. We want to call it culture. We want to call it people still reading the books and Qurans and Bibles and whatnot, and people stuck in that. Then we wonder why we can't be effective in our future, in our evolution. We wonder why. When you're stuck in old ways of thinking, when you're stuck in old books and old cultures and old outlooks, what are you producing for the future? These men opened the door for the future, for future intelligence. You understand that? They did their job. They put it in. They put it down. And Dr. Malachi Z. York, as I said, he's still putting it down. Even in this circumstance, you can't keep a good man down. From behind bars, wherever, you can't keep a good man down. Continuing. However, let's keep our eyes on the prize if we are those evolutionary people. If we are about the black evolution, not the black revolution, which comprises your niggas that's caught still in Islam, Freemasonry, and all this other stuff. Keep in mind that Dr. Malachi Z. York was taking our people through schools. You understand? And what happens when you go through schools? You graduate. Right? You move on. You don't continue doing the same thing. People who do that, they get stagnant. They get caught in something they want to call culture. You know why they do that? Because they're not smart enough to move on. They don't know what's next. So they come up with this BS excuse about cultivating some cultural mindset, whether it's Pan-Africanism, Egyptology, or whatever. It's just that these niggas don't know what the next move is. That's why they do that. Has nothing to do with their love for the Namus and Egypt and whatnot. Because how long are we going to keep riding that train? You understand that? How long are we going to keep riding that boat? You understand? In a circle. We're supposed to be moving in a straight line. I remember Dr. Malachi Z. York used to say, walk the straight and narrow line. Right? And it resonates in what I'm teaching in Mentellect today, where I say we are linear people moving in a straight line. Right? It resonates that way. Linear people, people who are moving in a straight line, not in a circle to constantly keep repeating the same things over and over again, because as you conscious niggas say, that is insanity. People who are moving in a linear form, in a linear state, those are the intelligent people. They are receiving reception from the future to guide them into the future, because the whole idea of receiving or being receiving prophecy or higher intelligence is to guide you where? Into the future, not for you to keep going in circles doing the same old things, the same repetitive routine. That's not what it's about. That's what you get when you look at these guys who came with these other movements, who are still following these movements, whether it's Islam, Christianity, Judaism, whatever. Y'all still following the same thing, still reciting the same lessons, still going in circles among circle among circle. And you trying to get other people trapped in the circle. But this man was moving on. He was truly an evolution, and is, I'm not saying was, is truly an evolutionary man. A good teacher, a master teacher, inspires students to continue. You understand? Inspires a next generation. Brings a movement to change the minds and advance the minds of the people. That's what a real master teacher to. A teacher, and that nigga just get up here, like I said, and he talk about a subject, and he talk all around and try to talk holes in your head about things we really don't care nothing about. Trying to capture our imagination. While he walking us in circle among circle among circle and routine amongst routine. The master teacher never did that. Dr. Malachi Z. York never did that. Straight line, always. Evolutionary man, bright man, intelligent man, independently intelligent. People used to say to me, oh, certain Negroes used to say to me, oh, yeah, you was a student of Dr. Malachi Z. York. I said, hell yeah. Hell to the yeah. Proud to be. Proud. As if that takes something away from me, like I'm jocking off of his knowledge, and I'm using it and putting out Mentellect and remixing it as Nawapu. No, I'm not doing that. Because truth be told, I was never much of a reader anyway of any of his books. And it's not to say that the books wasn't good. It's just that I wasn't a reader. You understand? The information didn't move me like that because I wasn't an information junkie. I was attracted by the intelligence of the man and the plan and the movement. You understand? That's what got to me. That's what resonated with me. I'm not taking anything away from people who were attracted by the information, but a lot of times when people get caught on the information, they don't see the bigger picture of why this is going on. It is to connect people into the future so that you can keep producing progeny amongst progeny and generation of future intelligent people. We are moving toward becoming the God race. We're not there yet. Like that movie, are we there yet? Hell no, we're not there yet. But these men were vehicles to take us there, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Dr. Malachi Z. York, his true successor. This is reality. When I was doing the Superman Project this Sunday, and I was explaining about the almond beings and the almond race and how we're not part of the human race, I had a Muslim sister in there, right? And she goes, I said that, black people are not part of the human race. We are actually a totally different species. I said we're different from the white man, the East Indian, and the Chinaman. We're different from them. We're a totally different species of being. I said Dr. Malachi Z. York started to speak on that when he made the difference, differentiated between the East Indians being of the black race. And, the Muslim sister, she goes, oh, you're not going to come with that Dr. York stuff, are you? I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? You sit up here and you say, and you brush off what that man brought. You brush off his contributions. Why? Because he wasn't a white man? Because he wasn't some goddamn Arab 1,400 years ago? Your life is based on some goddamn Arab 1,400 years ago who claimed they had a vision or talked to somebody up in the sky. And somebody's supposed to take you seriously? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you really serious? Yet this man stood here, built a community, right? Led people, cleaned people up, helped people, advanced the mind. Me being one who was affected by that to make me continue on. And you scoff at his work. That is a truly Uncle Tom mentality. Aunt Thomasina. You understand that? A young Aunt Thomasina. Because you discard anything a black man, a so-called black man, really a bright man. You so-called discard anything he did, but you accept some goddamn a man 1,400 years ago who in the desert, some Arab who claimed they had a vision and talked to some God in the sky. That's what you govern your life on. And I said, you know what? You know how religion, I don't care if it's Islam, Christianity, Judaism, you know how it's man-made? Because it doesn't change. It stays the same. If you're still doing the same routines that these people were doing 1,400 years ago, whether it's prayer, whether it's fasting, the same routines like that, and I brought that out to her. I said, if you're still doing that, then that comes from a man. Because man only produces, when man brings something from himself, he produces doctrines that go in a rotation. But something coming from on high, from the true and living God, which is our people, the God race, our children, our ascension, when you have people producing stuff like that, that's coming from on high. That's higher power. That's advanced knowledge coming from our people, the true and living God, not some goddamn spook in the sky sitting on a cloud with his ass in a chair that you believe in. But I'm supposed to take you seriously. Give me a goddamn break. You know, and you got millions of people, because like I said, our people are followers by nature, because they see millions of people don't even look like them doing that madness. They take part in that, but they'll sit up here and scoff at Dr. Malachi Z. York, man wrote over 400 books. You understand? Because the white man's not he's not a white man. His skin too dark. You understand that? That's the problem they have with Dr. Malachi Z. York, really in the nation. Too dark. Yeah? But we're going to leave that alone. Still a successor. It's not about these men. It's beyond them. It's about the ascension, the children, the future, the constant evolution of a people. This man thought about that. This man put focus and energy on that, and it resonates today. See, when you got people who do that, that's people who are not selfish. That's people who are not driven by nonsense. You understand? People who are not driven to be heard and be seen, but people who actually care. I can see the actual care in the man's eyes. He taught. And boy, did he teach. That's why I opened up the broadcast with the song by ᴍᴜ Badu, Master Teacher, because that was one of his that is his title, still today. Not taking nothing from him. You understand? I felt, like I said, it was beautiful to do this because yesterday was his birthday, 67th birthday. So, like I said, it all fell on a good time. You know, what a good way to celebrate than what better way to celebrate than do a broadcast, you know, a dedication to this man. Right? This is the greatest thing that could ever happen to our people. His life was the greatest thing that could ever happen to our people. And it still is. It's still resonating today. More on this great man as we come back. The lamb, that was one of his attributes too. You know, from Imam Isa, you know, to Rabboni Yeshua. We're going through the titles and the schools of thought. Ignorant people would sit up there and say, oh, you know, Dr. York, you know, he keep going through these different schools, you know, why he changing? Because he's bringing intelligence and light to all of these things that our people are caught up in and trapped in. He brought Nuwapu to everything, or right knowledge to everything. So people sat up here and said, oh, he's teaching all these different schools. No, he wasn't. He was bringing right knowledge to all of these things. He was correcting all the wrong knowledge in those teachings that our people were caught up in, and then moving on like a great teacher would do. Like a teacher corrects your goddamn paper. You understand? He was correcting all of these religions and these beliefs, teaching you what it really was, and then he moved on. That's Nuwapu. That was, you know, right knowledge. He was always teaching right knowledge from 1967 and continuing. Whether he was in Islam, the Hebrew school, Judaism, all this thing, always correcting things, always setting things right. Right? All the way up, like I said, to where he brought out the right knowledge and started talking about more and more, going into depth about Nuwapu, and you know, talking about the number 9 and, you know, our existence. So many books, so many things to grasp onto. So many different schools of thought that he walked through, and he was correcting them. Why? Because a lot of our people are caught in these teachings under wrong knowledge, under incorrect ways of thinking. You know, so when he came upon them, broke them down, talked about them, then moved on. He's like, okay, we know what this is, this, that, third, and we moved on. Brought light to it, made it right. 1993, very critical time. That's when I brought my mother into the teachings. Brought my my brother was some semi there. Had my sisters reading and things like that. You know, we was going to the Catskills in New York. Went to the the brothers and everybody had the master teacher had the land up there in New York, upstate New York, and talked about the 19 classes. I've never been to them, but I heard about the 19 classes where people was coming up and he was just teaching and just going hard. I heard about them, right? And around that time, a brother gave me a tape called The Greatest Secret, right? Now, it was a cassette tape. And on that, you could go online and hear it now, The Greatest Secret, where Dr. Malachi Z. York was talking about why people fail and succeed in life. See, this resonates to me in this day. I still have that tape amongst my personal belongings in storage, right? Brother just came out of nowhere and gave it to me. And I felt like that was like, you know, that was like heaven sent. That was like, you know, not, you know, just to be on the, you know, spook thing for me. I just wanted to get spooked out for a second. But I felt like that was heaven sent. That was meant to come to me. And I listened to it, you know, over and over. But I was like, I didn't want to listen to it to the tape pop. But I listened to it over and over, and I studied it. And like I said, that was one of the greatest lessons, or the greatest ways of thinking that I've ever heard. Most forward way of thinking I've ever heard. It wasn't until that time that I really got this man, that I really understood, or should I say overstood, what it is that he was doing. The most forward-thinking man I ever met in my life. Future thinker. Well, actually, I started putting it together even in my own evolution. I started seeing, you know, this is a line of evolution, forward motion. People think that back, or, you know, the back knowledge of Egypt and all that meant to keep people back. It was just meant to bring true overstanding to it. Make it right, correct it. See, because the knowledge that he received on these things was much different from the people like your Dr. Benz and them. You know, a lot of them just was going off of earthly historical facts. This man was tuned in, or is tuned in, to advanced thought, a future thought. We refer to it as in the state of mental. Thought that is beyond that of the predecessors, that, you know, that was left behind, but there's always more to the story. There's always more to those historical facts, you know. There's always more to it. It's something beyond just Egypt. And, you know, people who tuned in and was expecting me to break down his knowledge and whatnot. I broke it down in a nutshell. Man was a future thinker. It was about always correcting. He was a corrector. You understand? His knowledge was correction knowledge. Down with Elijah Muhammad's was formation knowledge, or, you know, getting a people in a form. Dr. York served correction knowledge in the form of information. You understand? You have formation, meaning the coming together of something. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, if he's not known for anything, the Nation of Islam is not so much known for the knowledge more than it is the structure, the formation, the order, the orderliness of the group. So he's known, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was known or resonates in my mind and in the minds of people who are awake. He resonates as one who put the formation in effect. Dr. Malachi Z. York brought the information and outformation. You understand? He made it possible to even come with these words like outformation, overstanding, things like that, because outformation actually meant future knowledge, advanced knowledge, universal knowledge. Universal meaning continuous knowledge, because is not the universe continuous? Right? So this is how it resonated to me, how I saw it. Forward motion. Sometimes people who are not amongst you, you got people who will sit up here and study a person's works and books and things like that, and they still don't get it. They think they could be amongst the person that, I'm part of, you ain't, how this brother know, you ain't been down for years, you ain't heard this, that, and the third, and, you don't have to do, how you know this, that, and the third. The best people that really see are the people who look deeply at you and stand back and watch. Don't say anything. Don't feel a need to be loud and boisterous and think that you know, because the wisest man is the man who knows he knows nothing. Because what that actually means is he makes himself blank. He makes himself a vessel. It's not that he's stupid. It's that he knows that all true knowledge, all real knowledge is future thought, meaning knowledge that is being resonated or generated in the mind of that person, the speaker, the instrument. So he always makes himself ready to receive. That's why he says, I know nothing, because future thought is always coming. The man who says he knows something, that's the man who will learn nothing, because what that means is that he's basically decided that he's going to stay within a certain block of knowledge, within a certain state of mind that's usually based on past and present. And it is based on past and present. That's where that person, like, for example, you'll have a guy who'll be like, he's into Pan-Africanism. He knows Pan-Africanism, and he's, he knows this, that, and the third, and he's a scholar on this. And that's it. He's basically filled up his mind with Egyptology and Pan-Africanism, and that's it. That's where his brain stops. Like the memory chip, the memory card is filled up. That's it. There's no expanding beyond that. You got guys who Sumerian heads. They all know about Enki and Enlil and all this other stuff and the ancient gods, and anything beyond that they don't know. In Egypt, they don't know anything beyond that. So those memory cards, those chips are filled up. Those memories, that memory in their head is filled up. Right? So they don't know anything else. When you try to come to them with some future thought, they don't get it, because their mind is already filled up with a certain way of thinking. But Dr. York tried to keep it moving. He tried to keep it moving. He didn't stay in Islam. I saw a lot of brothers who came into the Islamic school, and when Dr. York wasn't doing Islam no more, a lot of them niggas left. Right? Because they didn't really see where he was going. It was about a continuous future and going through schools, not getting locked into one school. A lot of them niggas ran off to the Sunnis and whatnot, like a lot of niggas did with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They ran off after he died. If he passed away, they ran off to the goddamn Sunnis, the Goonies, and they had to go on their knees. See, because in there you're not allowed to be a black man. You're just a Muslim. You're a black Muslim. You exist as the colored section. Right? Dr. York walked us through that. And we're in a state of mentality. We continue to walk. We're continuously walking. It's not his walk. It's not the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's walk. It's not my walk. We are just instruments in the evolution of our people. That's it. We're instruments. Instruments will always be used. People will always be used, but it's not for the people to become personality driven. A sister kind of took it wrong when I said that Dr. Malachi Z. York was bright man number 2. And I said Elijah was bright man number 1. She took it wrong because she's like, I guess she felt like, that was a slap at Dr. Malachi Z. York's accomplishments for saying that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the first man of the last millennium. And that's not a slap. Because, that's how the white man sees things, where, you less important, and if you another number that comes behind you less important. No. All numbers are important. All numbers present a power, because without a 1 means nothing without 2. 2 means nothing without 3. 3 means nothing without 4. So all numbers are important. All numbers are rising. Put it to you this way, as each number rises, each level of knowledge or higher knowledge rises. So with every man that comes in and passes out, he's passing in or bringing in a higher intelligence. So if Elijah was 1, Dr. York being 2 would be resonating as one who's bringing in higher intelligence. Because as the degrees are heating up, like temperatures going higher, so is the knowledge. So is the man who's going to come behind him that's going to bring higher knowledge. That's how it works. So actually, it was a compliment. Prime is beautiful. That which comes behind prime is even more beautiful. It's all beautiful because it's all part of our evolution. Let's not get caught up on people and personalities. Understand what this man was bringing. That was the evolution of our people. He always talked about the babies, the Mukminati and the Mukminun. Always talked about the babies, focusing on the future, the babies. That's what all great nations are supposed to be focused on, the children. Not on some nigga trying to get some land and calling himself Moorish or this, that, and the third, trying to get this fantasy going where you think you got land here in this society when you really don't. You understand? Because anytime the goddamn white man come and take you right off that land, then what you got? Nothing. You understand? All you got is your pride and a hurt ass. That's all you got. But see, when you got these babies, when they know, when their intelligence has been furthered, when their way of thinking is advanced, you got everything. That can never be taken away. That's what Dr. Malachi Z. York did. He was successful in his mission. He was successful because he produced someone like myself. He opened my mind up. He was successful. He is successful. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was successful. You understand? He kept, I remember in the Old Hall of Knowledge, Dr. York kept all of the pictures up at one point of Noble Drew Ali. He had a picture of Elijah Muhammad up, all the black leaders, Deuce Ali, all the black leaders. I think he had King on the wall, he had Malcolm X on the wall. Malcolm X wasn't really the leader of anything, but he kept all these people up for a reason, because it was him showing black images, and that it wasn't him being it's all about me and being jealous and whatnot. He put up mentors. He put up people who were instrumental in the evolution of our people in some way, shape, or form. Whether they were forerunners, because I explained you have forerunners like Garvey and you Noble Drew Ali. You have forerunners, and then you have chosen men. You have forerunners, and then you have chosen men. Dr. Malachi Z. York was chosen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was chosen. You understand that? People sit up here and talk about, because he's in prison right now. They sit up here and talk about, where's your lamb at? He in prison. The lamb is in prison. They try to say, he ain't who he is because he locked up. Nigga, your Jesus got locked up according to the story. And he was supposed to be the Son of God. Had all his power walking on water, but then he got locked up and he got crucified. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad got locked up for teaching the truth. Dr. Malachi Z. York, same thing. It had nothing to do with no child molestation, all that nonsense down there in Eatonton, Georgia. You understand? It had nothing to do with that. This man was opening the minds of a people in a society that is hell-bent on dumbing down the mentality of the children. You understand that? He was a target. You understand? It was impossible to introduce people like Nicki Minaj. Notice when Dr. York went to jail, a whole slew of niggas fell out of the closet. The beast came, a whole slew of little niggas that fell out of the closet, like your Nicki Minaj's and your Lil Wayne, and the children got further dumbed down. You understand that? Notice that started to increase when he got locked up. You understand? You can't have a people. You can't have a man who's bringing the intelligence up of a people when you have when you have another man who's interested in dumbing them down. Because when you dumb people down, they become sheep. They become ignorant. You can do whatever you want with them. You control their lives. You can feed them to other entities. I'm going to just leave it at that. That's what you do with sheep. Lifeless. Ignorant. Dr. Malachi York spent his life and sacrificed his life, like I said, in jail right now, to bring an intelligence to our people, open the minds up of our people, not create no goddamn information junkies. Like a lot of you guys, you niggas sit around talking about, I read every book and I got everything. No, nigga. No. You gathered information. You didn't receive the intelligence. You didn't get the memo, nigga. It's not about information. It's about intelligence. Two totally different things. He used information to bring about intelligence in our people, to raise it, to raise the intel, to raise the future way of thinking, to open your mind up to receive higher thoughts. It worked for me, and I know it worked for others, because when people ask me about mentellect and and I'm teaching, they recognize, I was a student of Dr. York, and they recognize my delivery, not the teaching of mentellect. You understand that? They recognize what they recognize is the same continuation, the same entity that's moving through, that advanced way of thinking that's moving through him, is moving through myself. They recognize that, not somebody who's trying to give exactly what he came to give. That was his piece in the puzzle to give. Just like Elijah had a piece in the puzzle to give. But you can't explain that to people who are personality driven. You understand? People who want to make it all about Elijah or all about Dr. York, when it's all about all of us and the evolution of our people. Any so-called teacher who sits around here trying to make it about himself, he's not no real teacher. He's a nigger. And no, these men definitely were not niggers. You understand that? It's not what it's about. It's about the forward movement of a people. Dr. York was the lamb and is the lamb, because what happened? The lamb got sacrificed. The lamb had to go to jail, just like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was referred to as the lamb. He went to jail. Notice all these niggas out here who are so-called leaders, they ain't did a day a time in jail. All these so-called black leaders today, you already know who they are. Ain't nobody went to jail. That's how you know their message is bullshit. I said it. Because when you're really trying to raise the minds of the people, you're not going to make friends amongst the powers that be when you're raising the minds of a people, when you're raising the intelligence. No, he didn't have to sit up here and quote black power and talk about, I'm ready to die. No, what's more dangerous is when you start to teach a people how to live. Not some nigga beating on his chest talking about, I'm ready to die for this. No, nigga, he taught, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught people how to live. That's more dangerous, because living is continuous. Death is easy. Pop, you going, nigga. That's easy. You done away with. Who you hurting by saying you ready to die for this, nigga? You ain't hurting nobody. Pop you in your head, you gone. Did it with Huey Newton and all them other guys, he gone. You understand? But people who are trying to live and continue, that's the dangerous part. That's what these men were about. The forward motion and movement of a people. Intelligence. Not rhetoric. Not nonsense. Like I said, like the people who sat up here and talked and slandered. And you had certain simple-minded niggas who was actually happy that this man went to jail. This great man went to jail. Simple-minded niggas. You understand that? It's about living, continuing. Continuous thought and higher intelligence. That's what this is about. Nawapu is in that line. Tribe of Shabar's teachings are in that line. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad wasn't teaching no Islam. He was teaching correction. Or should not say, I'm sorry, not correction, but formation. Dr. York came bringing correction. You understand? All needed to be produced in a continuous people. Right? All needed to be induced in a people who wish to continue on. Formation and correction. You understand that? Getting them together and correcting their way of thinking. And then comes the traveler, the one who's going to take the people beyond that. The former the corrector, and the traveler. This is the journey we are going on, the next generation, the people who are moving into the future, the advanced thinkers. Open the door and you'll recognize us. People were able, the ones who were in tune, they were able to recognize the link between the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Dr. Malachi Z. York. You understand? And even my link to Dr. Malachi Z. York. Like I said, simple-minded Negroes will sit up here and say, oh, yeah, you was influenced, you took this from him, and you took this. No. It's beyond that. It's not that. It's that they recognize the people who are intelligent, they recognize one link of evolution. And they recognize the people who are not in that link of evolution, but the people who are caught in the revolution, the people who are on the other side, on the opposite side, that are doing nothing but causing goddamn confusion, that are doing nothing but keep promoting the same nonsense over and over and over again, and there's no forward motion, there's no forward movement. You felt the difference. It wasn't in the books. It wasn't in the information. It was the output of what happened after that. What it made us start to think about, what it resonated in our minds. That was important, but people miss it. I'm going to play Little Jazzanova. We'll be right back. A lot of people didn't pick up what Dr. Malachi Z. York was talking about in things he showed, like the images of the spaceships and stuff like that, him coming off the spaceships and things like that. A lot of people didn't understand what that meant. Right? A lot of people didn't realize that what he meant by that was future. That was future stuff he was showing. Ships and things like that, things that resonate in the future. Showing a black man getting off a spaceship, or himself, so-called black man getting off a spaceship and being an alien and talking about from another world. Risk that 8th planet, 19th galaxy. People was like, oh, that's crazy, that's fantasy talk. No, that's reality, because it is a reality that our people will travel to other planets in time. So he was actually sharing future thought, future reception. That's real. But to a simple-minded nigga that's caught in the present and in the past, you don't get that. You know, you think it's some fantasy thing. In the future, our people untraveled those worlds, because the future exists right now. So he was sharing and giving us a look into the future. But like I said, a lot of people didn't get that. Right? Correction. When he's talked about, I'd say he was a man of correction, bringing the correction. What did he say? He said that I came to set the record straight. Doesn't that go along with correcting things? You understand? The corrector. That's one of the attributes I give Dr. Malachi Z. York. That I acknowledge him as. You know? The corrector. One who corrects things. He corrected things. You have to correct things in the way of the people in order for them to move on from it, to give them a greater understanding of it. Correction. Staff. Leading. All of these things that you saw, all of these things that you thought was far out, from the spaceships and Amanu Rakata and Murdoch and the incarnation of Yanun and things like that. That was higher intelligence. All that, like I said, you break this all down into higher intelligence, advanced thoughts coming to this man, advanced messages coming to this man, him being a receiver. Different entities coming in, leaving messages and going. That's reality. I acknowledge that's real. I saw it when I was on this land, on the land, in the Egyptian city out in Eatonton, Georgia. I saw Dr. Malachi Z. York walking, and I saw an incarnation coming to him, and his face swell up, and his eyes turned a certain shade, and I saw it. And I told I didn't want to tell nobody about that. I shared it with my father one time. He goes, well, what the hell was you smoking? And I said, I wasn't smoking nothing. I know what I saw. Maybe I'm the only one. So I saw him walking in within a procession. I saw a change go through him. You understand? I saw it. So people are used as instruments to bring something forward. People are channelers. He was channeling future beings, future intelligence. He was channeling, just like I do myself. You'll hear me. People will hear me talking on the broadcast and hear something else come to jump in and go, and I'll be used as an instrument to get a message across. That happens. To a lot of niggas, they don't see that because, like I said, the majority of the people, they don't see that because they're not utilized for that, because you have to be a worthy vessel to receive it. A lot of people are chosen as vessels for a reason. Everybody's not going to be a vessel to receive higher intelligence, to receive walk-ins, to get messages to move people to the future. It's not supposed to be many people doing that. It's only supposed to actually be one person that's going to do that, who's going to be a strong receiver. You understand? Reason why it's not many and it's only one is because if you had many, that would cause what? Confusion. One means one who would lead many as one. One nation, one group, all of that. Wouldn't be many people trying to be receivers. That's why niggas get jealous. They be like, oh, well, who he supposed to be? Well, that's really what it's about. Who he supposed to be? Why he got to be a receiver? Why he got to be picking up the knowledge and whatnot? Nigga, because it's not supposed to be a whole bunch of people. It's supposed to be one person. You understand? One leader, one group, one nation, one society at a time, not 2 and 3 people at a time. The people will get bits and pieces of it here and there because it will resonate in their head, because if they don't understand it, it has to resonate in bits and pieces, and then it's that person who's going to be the strongest receiver that's going to lead the people. He's going to be the leader. You understand? He's the God. He's the God. He's the manifestation or the representation of God. Because what is God? God is our people in the future. Future intelligent people. That's who God is. And the angels and all that BS that they talked about, that the white man tagged on to God, and the angels trying to make some spooky. That's what the black woman believed in our class, the one who was with the Islam, some spooky, got some God. I asked her, what is God? God is, he's not man, and he's not, he's beyond this. We don't understand that. I'm like, she trying to explain it like it was so abstract. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to take you seriously again, and you trying to explain something abstract to me? And you follow something abstract, something that you really don't, what you're really saying is you really don't know what you are following or what you believe in. You really don't have no idea. You got this abstract, so-called spooky, spiritual, fake spiritual picture. You understand? It sounds heavy and deep, but you're bringing confusion. Picture me sitting up here looking to something or acknowledging something, I don't know what the hell it is. I know God and the angels, or what you call God and angels, are nothing but our people in the future. The ascension, our children. That's why Dr. Malachi Z. York was raising the children and talking about making them like a bride for Christ, because that Christ figure was meant to take them to a higher level mentally. It's not no Jesus Christ. That word Christ just meant anointed. It's a Greek word that meant anointed, because there's going to be people that are anointed that's going to come and take people on a higher level. He was one of those anointed ones, one of those receivers. You understand? In preparation for something else. It's always a preparation for something else. Elijah was preparing for something else. It's always something else coming. You understand? There's always another person who's going to be a receiver, who's going to be an instrument. But like I said, for the people who are personality driven, they don't get that. You understand? Those are the people who are stuck in blocks. Those are the people who are stuck in time. Those are people who are stuck in past and present, not future people. You're supposed to be producing, a real leader produces future thinking people, not people who are caught in the past and the present. You people, if y'all still studying these things from the Africa, Egypt, and talking all this stuff, y'all caught in the past and the present, man, not the future. You're not moving in the future. You're stagnant and you're still. That's not what we're supposed to be doing as a people. We're supposed to be moving beyond everybody within the human race. We taught in the state of mentality and the knowledge of intellect that we are not part of the human race. We are a totally different species, and the human race moves in a circle, in a revolution. We are supposed to be moving in a straight linear line, as we are those evolutionary people, those people who are constantly moving forward. We fed the circle. We fed the circle with our knowledge. And the people, we were not supposed to become part of the circle. We were not supposed to be caught in the circle. We were not supposed to be doing what it is the people were doing within the circle. We were not supposed to be caught in Islam and Christianity and Judaism and Egyptology and Freemasonry. We wasn't supposed to be caught in that. You understand? But a lot of our people miss that. Dr. Malachi Z. York said, I'm giving you what you want until you learn to want what I have to give. You understand that? So obviously what he was giving in these schools wasn't what he wanted to give. He was giving correction within these schools. You understand? In order for you to move on. People miss that. Niggas, they got a problem with him out of ego. Like I said, because the black man, he can quickly accept, the average black man can quickly accept the white man being a leader and telling him what to do and accepting his philosophies like metaphysics and all that nonsense and, you know, and his made-up theories. They can quickly accept that before they can accept something like what this man was teaching in the WAPU and moving our people forward. See, because what happens in the evolution is you have to be actively participate in that. See, when you're dealing with Islam and Christianity and those old ways of thinking, you don't really have to actively do anything. They take no discipline. I said on Facebook a couple of days ago, I said that, you know, our people love to follow things like Christianity and Islam and those schools of thought because it caters to your low nature. You understand? It caters to your low nature. That's why you follow the philosophies of the white man, because it caters to your low nature. But the elite amongst the white race, they don't follow them. They hold themselves to a whole different authority, a different way of thinking. They just give you Islam and Christianity and all those things to follow. You understand? Because, like I said, they just give you things. They throw crumbs off the table, bits and pieces of knowledge, money, whatever you niggas want, just to feed the scraps to the dogs who were once gods. He feeds the dogs scraps. You understand? Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Egyptology, metaphysics, Masonry. He feeds the dogs Pan-Africanism. He feeds the dogs scraps. And unfortunately, Dr. Malachi Z. York had to operate through those things to get his message across. But it was necessary. Because that's where our people were. He had to go to where our people was. You understand that? He had to go to where our people was to fish them out. And they still swimming in the pool of ignorance. A lot of our people, unfortunately. Even a lot of his own people. His so-called people. You understand that? His true people are the people who got it. The people, he's part of the people that got it. Just like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's true people are the people that got it. We all part of a real family of intelligent ones. The people who got it. The people who weren't slow. The people that didn't get slowed up by beliefs and get caught up. See, because like we're going to talk about in the next broadcast, concentration, that's the hardest thing for our people to get. That's the hardest thing for our people to focus on. And it definitely took concentration, right, to be able to study these things, to not partake in the ways of life of what our people, the rest of our people was doing out in the world. When you came into, because Dr. York used to always talk about leaving, coming out of the world and into the world that they were building, because worlds are different states of thinking, states of mind, and you need people collectively thinking of and building a different world in order for that world to exist. When you went into Bushwick, back in the days of Islam and things like that, you were actually felt as though you were going into another time frame, into another world, into another dimension, into another state. That's how it felt when you went there. Those ones who was in tune, it felt like you walked out of the hood into another state. And it had nothing to do with so much with the buildings, the physical buildings and things like that. It had to do with the mindset that was heavy, the mentality that was heavy there, the togetherness of the people. That's what made it feel different. That's what I'm trying to instill in the members in the state of mental, that it's about collective family. That message never changed. I don't want people studying intellect and studying what's coming through me just to be individuals. That's not what it's about. It's about the collective. That message never changed. It didn't change with the messenger. It didn't change with Dr. Malachi Z. York. It ain't changing with me. It ain't changing. Because anybody that's promoting individualism, you understand? Like a lot of you conscious niggas that's promoting this individualism. Oh, we don't need no more leaders. Oh, I'm my own God. Look, nigga, that ain't do nothing for you. All that's just a bunch of ego. That's all that is. You understand? You niggas just want to cause confusion. You understand? And just be all about ego and trying to tear apart anything our people are trying to do. But what is that old analogy? When you have a bunch of sticks together, you can't break it. That's strength. But when you have separate sticks, individuals, you can break them apart, just like our people are being broken apart today in this society. But you niggas are too proud to understand it. You don't get that. Because you want to be your own God. Nigga, go somewhere and be your own God. How's that working out for you? You understand? You niggas ain't got nothing. You ain't doing nothing in the world. You serve no purpose. It's always about the group. It's always about the collective. You understand? We walk together. We hang together. We live together. We die together. We as a group. It's not about individuals. That's why I even tell our people I'm promoting in the state of mental. It's not about individuals. Find your people. Find the receptionist. Find the receptionist. Find the rays. Look out to go find the rays. That is the biggest job. Find the rays, the receivers. Don't come and sit amongst me and be like, all right, teach me, mentor, the mentor, teach me this, that, and the third, what's next on the agenda. No, what you could do in the evolution of the people, if you say you about that, the ones who are listening to me now, is help in finding our people. Get out there and do the work. Come together, stand together as a unit so that the ones who are in the closet hiding, the intelligent ones who are hiding in the ignorant closet amongst the rest of the black race could come the hell out and see that so they could feel secure because they looking for us. That's what you can do. Not sit up and listen to me and hear me do my classes and whatnot, and just like the simple-minded black woman come up in there and she's talking this bull about, like I said, oh, she got proud. Oh, just teach me how to teach me about urban farming and self-defense. So basically, what the black woman wanted to learn is how to eat and fight. That's what it came down to. You want to learn how to eat and fight like a goddamn savage. You didn't understand that environmental soldier is 5% environment and 90% mental. You didn't understand that. I mean, should I say 5% environment and 90% mental, meaning advanced thinking. You understand that? When I put the Supermen, Superwomen thing on the card, it was dealing with future people because that's obviously not the black race. It was always picking the best people out of the black race to move them forward, the advanced people. That's what that was about. Same way, like I said, Dr. York, he used images to bring about a resolution or resonate or show you something. It wasn't about those goddamn spaceships and some Mars attacks and aliens. It was future thought. It was picking up that reception of where our people are going, the advanced ones of our people, the evolutionary ones, the bright ones. That was what that was about. A man who was in the future, just as a man who moved in the past and brought light to the past and the future. Shows you this is what this is. And during the present, brought correction. The rod of correction, the staff. See the people, picture of him as Imam Isa. You see the picture of him as Rabboni Yeshua. You see Amanubi Rakata, Malachi York. All these beings represented different phases and schools of thought. But was all Nawapu. People didn't even see that. Correction. Nawapu is correction. You understand? Right knowledge. To correct wrong knowledge. I get it. I got it. I'm going. That's what the students, the real students, the ones who were inspired, are supposed to be saying. We moving. You understand that? We focusing. We putting our energy out. Some of the people, the younger ones, they didn't get the message. The school of thought is still necessary because you're going to have people who are not going to graduate. They're graduating slower. Same way you got people in the Nation of Islam who are going to graduate and grasp the message slower. They're not going to get it. That's why a lot of them don't move on, because they didn't get it. So you constantly have to keep going through a school in order to get it. However, we're supposed to be moving toward the university. You can't say you in the university if you constantly in school learning the same thing over and over again. But like I said, certain people, when you get certain people coming into the movement, into the school, into the nation, the society, whatever, there are people who are going through the school. Mentellect is the only universal knowledge. All of it is bits and pieces of mentellect. Advanced knowledge. This is the university that you never finish. You understand that? There is a school of thought that you will never finish. That's mentellect. Universal knowledge. Advanced knowledge. Continuous knowledge. As continuous as the universe is. There is no ending to the universe. There's constant moving forward. The light, the solar light, the intelligence of those future beings is what's expanding the universe. The light of their world. You understand that? Whether they was referring to it as Nibiru and all these other things, they talked about a moving planet. Right? This is what the white man is trying to do. He's trying to create a moving planet. You understand? Space stations. So these people were talking about future thought. People had a big problem with Dr. Malachi Z. York because, like I said, he still carried a lot of the ways, because each movement carries certain different things from the old. They carry bits and pieces. There still was the formation there from Elijah. You understand? Each movement carries bits and pieces, so he still had the formation. The men over here, the women over here, the formation is still carried on. You understand? Each, because the evolution is all part of a big puzzle. The Nation of Islam was one piece. Nawapu, then Dr. Malachi Z. York is another piece. Another piece is being added in the puzzle and toward the evolution of our people. And the pieces will be continuously added. That's how it works. Never stops at that one person. Never stops there. Only in the mind of the person who's personality driven does it stop. Only in the mind of the person who is focused on that time and that realm does it stop. Now you got people who are of those movements whose memory card is filled up. That's understandable. It's ultra-standable, as we say in the state of Mentel. We ultra-stand that certain people's memory cards and mindsets are filled up where you can't add anything else. You can't open it to anything else. You understand? Certain people are filled with those books, and that's it. Certain people are filled with those schools of thought, and that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. But for the people who are open to higher intelligence, advanced intelligence, to keep going, you understand? That's their part in the puzzle. Certain people are continuous travelers. You understand? Mentellect is a school of continuous travel. Why? Because we are all going to receive on a level, but there will be one great receiver to teach and lead the charge. Mentellect is universal knowledge. One knowledge. One society, one nation, one state, one society. This man opened the door. He used to say something, knock, ask, seek, knock, I believe that was. The orders, the Assyrian orders, all of that. All of this was meant to advance the way of thinking the minds of our people. We missed the whole thing of the orders. The ancient order of Melchizedek, the ancient Egyptian order. All these orders were meant to bring about concentration, focus, thinking beyond where it is you are at that point, thinking beyond the hood, thinking beyond drugs, thinking about beyond all the things that they give you to keep you in a submental state on the society. This man gave us higher mental things. You understand? To move us off the submental state. He used those tools. You understand that? That's what it was about. Always advancing the intelligence of the people. Always moving the people forward. Continuous evolution. I could not talk about evolution, I said, without speaking about this man. A lot of people were guarded against the image of Dr. Malachi Z. York, as if I could say anything bad against this man. I couldn't. It's not I could say this bad. You know, I don't have anything negative to say. I don't have anything bad to say. Even what's considered bad is good. You know, whether you want to say the man had all these women, whatever the case may be, that's good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. What's the reality of that? Men are going to have many women. That's the reality in their lifetime. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing negative about that. It's only negative to you niggas who were faggoty and had your mentality fagged out in this society where, oh, you know what's wrong with a man and a woman and whatnot, how they try to make sex and a natural connection between man and woman wrong. It's only wrong to you. You know? We waking up in this age. We are in a new age. You understand? We were being prepared for a new age. And I want to thank Dr. ᴍᴟᴜ for everything he's done. I wished him a happy birthday yesterday. I want to say peace to my Nuwapian brothers and sisters. I have nothing but love for you. What we're doing in the state of Mentel is a continuation of the evolution. You understand? And the evolution belongs to no one. It doesn't belong to Dr. ᴍᴜᴜ. Doesn't belong to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the continuous bloodline of the generation of the children. It is their evolution that is continuous. The next generation, it's all about them. The continuation of their life. We bring people here. We brought our parents together. The children bring their parents together. The grandchildren. We bring people here. We bring people here in our lives to teach us. Wherever there's a need for knowledge to be, it is produced in a person, in one person, not in many people. Many people cause confusion, but there will only be one master teacher at a time. Don't listen to this nonsense about, oh, well, yeah, he's good, but I kind of like Dr. Ben over there or Dr. Clark over there. It's not the same person, not the same thing. Them guys is focused on the past and the present. That's the difference. For those of you who think, you know, oh, it's just information and, just, you know, and you trying to read more. No, nigga, it's not just information. You understand? Those guys are focused in the past and the present, which means nothing. Because the past and present are always subject to confusion. But the beast cannot cause or bring confusion to the future. He can't. Because it's beyond his hands. It's beyond his reach. It is shaped by those who are in tune, those who are intelligent. It is harnessed in their mental energy, in their mental power. The road is laid out by them. Past and present, history, philosophy. All of these things are based in control mechanisms. All of them. They mean nothing. You, if you are in tune, you recognize the future talk or the future speech in the words, in the knowledge. Even if it's being presented as past knowledge, you'll recognize the future in that. I wanted to get some Nuwapians on the phone. I wanted to get some Nuwapians to call in and whatnot, make a call, weigh in on what's being said. You know, because I know probably a lot of people, like I said, they're curious to see. They don't see my posts on Facebook and things like that. And when I put up the bright race and I talked about Dr. ᴍᴜᴜ, and we used the title of bright man, you know, bright man or a free man. You understand? A free man freeing black people who are the slaves, black people. Who is the free man? The bright man is the free man. The black people are the slaves. The people who are trapped in darkness. The people who are trapped in the black prison. Next to the cell, and a cell next to the white race. You share a continuous cell, but it's only the bright men who will come to free our people. You understand that? Break you out of this mindset that you are connected to these people when you are not. A lot of our people don't want to let that go. A lot of our people don't want to move forward on their own. A lot of our people don't want to continue on. A lot of our people don't think it's possible for us to continue on without the white man holding our goddamn hand. Certain people are going around talking, we need to let go of the hand of the white man, but then they taking up his philosophy still. They still following his philosophy. They still following his ideas, his ways of thinking. But then you going to sit around talking about to let the white man hand go. Nigga, you ain't let it go. You understand that? A lot of our people go say things like, I've even noticed people say things like, oh, yeah, intellectual, what you saying is good. Mentor, what you saying is good. But, but reality, no, nigga, ain't no reality. Reality is what you set forward in the future. This is not real. Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj and the rest of these goddamn Fraggle Rock cartoon character looking niggas are not real. That's not real. Your 9-to-5 job, nigga, that's not real. You understand? You niggas stand on the corner smoking weed all day and talking about, yeah, son, the NBA. But, nigga, that's not real. None of your life, like I said, none of your life in this society is real. You understand that? You know how you know it's not real? Because it can be taken away from you. The white man can take your job away tomorrow. So is it real? He can stop sending weed to the hood for you niggas to get high. You understand? He can shut down the NBA playoffs and you niggas ain't gonna have nothing to talk about. That's 90% of you niggas' conversation if it's an NBA lockout. That's 90% of you niggas' conversation. Gone. You niggas will be walking around silent like mummies. You understand? Or a football lockout. You understand? Or the white man's decided to stop putting out Nicki Minaj, or he closed down the goddamn clubs, or whatever you black women talking about, whatever foolishness y'all talking about. You average black women, or you nigga men. You understand? So do you sit up here and stand up for this stupidity in this false world when this man can cut all that off in a second? You understand? He cut off. Hell, all he gotta do to start a stampede is tell you the damn new Nike sneakers out, then close the damn store. You niggas will kill each other. You understand? That's all. No, what's real is the future. What's real is that you're not like these people. A lot of our people don't want that truth. They don't want the truth. They want lies. They want to live lies. You understand? They want to live lies. They want the white man's lies. They want his or the human lie, the lies of the beast. That they want that. They want, like I said, that's real life to them. The club, Nicki Minaj, the basketball game, that's real life to them. Not knowledge like this. They can't even fathom that. That should show you the majority of our people are not real. You understand? They're not real. So don't sit up here and wait for them to do anything righteous or be involved in the evolution of our people, because they're not going to do it. There's only going to be few men that are going to do that are going to stand up for what's right. They're not, few men that are going to stand up for intelligence. Like I said, the black man today, all that nigga do is stand up for stupidity, and the goddamn black woman. The average black man and black woman, all they do is stand up for stupidity. They are no different than anybody else. They're no different than the damn white man. No different. You understand that? Don't wait for it to resonate in their heads, because it's not going to happen. When you talk about the future with them and they can't see the future in what you're saying, stop trying to explain it to them, because it's not meant for them to see it, because they're not dead. Them niggas are dead. They're dead. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said they're mentally dead, when Dr. Malachi Z. York said that, it means that people are dead receivers. They're like the parts in your radio that don't work anymore, where you have to either throw the radio out, i.e. the black race, and breathe it, or take the part, junk it, and take the best parts of it and start over and build something from there and get better parts to produce a bright people. That's real. That's real. We was moving toward this evolution all along. We was moving toward this evolution all along. However, we had a lot of confusion. We had a lot of confusion on this road. Too many niggas want to be in chiefs and not Indians. Everybody want to be a leader for the wrong reason. You understand? For the money, for the ass. You understand? For a piece of ass, for the money, because you want to stand on a podium or pulpit and sound deep and heavy. Not for the right reason, like to lead our people into the future and care about our people. See, because that's what people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Dr. Malachi Z. York did. They cared about the people. That's why Dr. Malachi Z. York sitting where he's sitting at today, because he gave a damn about the people. See, these niggas, they don't give a damn about the people. They out walking free, ain't never did no time in jail. You understand that? Look at the analogy of your Jesus Christ. He sat his ass in jail. Why? According to the story, because he cared about the people. See, the niggas that don't care, the selfish bastards, the niggas that's out here just trying to get money, your reverends and your imams and your black conscious bullshit leaders. You understand? These niggas ain't did a day in jail. Why? It ain't because no special God or no spirit is on them. No, nigga, because, like I said, the white man know you full of it. He know you ain't no threat. He know you ain't about the continuation of our people. He know all you niggas is doing is just leading our people in circles and causing confusion. I'm going to say it how it is. Straight, I told you, from now, straight, no chaser. Straight, no chaser. You say, hopefully there are good parts. Wake up, you are the good part. You are one of the good parts. Because we about to junk the whole goddamn radio. And we taking only the good parts, and we going to build on, and we going to go inside of our people and start over again. That's what's going to happen. The hell with the rest of the radio. It's not picking up any reception. The reception's off. You understand that? And that's reality. Community living. When I first saw the Ansar Allah community, and the children and things like that, that was ideal. A lot of people got on that, oh, you know, the brothers get separated from their women and the children separated. Yeah, because the parents are contaminated. The parents were contaminated from the streets and coming in and bringing in the world and contaminating the children with their mindset and their mentality. You understand that? That was necessary. That man was a genius in that sense of trying to breed children who were pure in their minds and higher in their intelligence. Not angels and choir boys and choir girls. No, talking about people who were receiving pure intelligence, higher intelligence. That's what pure in the mind means. Not some Puritan faggoty mentality. Oh, we can't have sex. We got to be like this. Not that. Purify your minds means clean out your mind to receive higher thoughts, higher intelligence. You understand? That's how you raise a pure mind. You have to clean it out. You have to clean it out. You have to start over. Breathe a higher intelligence. All these things were being done by Dr. Malachi Z. York, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and by myself, and what I'm trying to do and what I'm doing today. We are all part of a big puzzle that will continue. Even if I'm not here, it don't matter. It's going to continue. The evolution of our people must continue. For, what else we here for? We're going to keep sitting in conscious classes listening to Egypt. How long are we going to keep listening to how great Egypt was? Egypt is ruins. It ain't nobody in there. Them people in the ground. Them people in the ground. They dead. You trying to put on some goddamn fake namus and trying to reenact Egypt. You look like an asshole. I'm gonna be honest. You like I said, you look at the Players Ball. Remember I said that analogy. Look at the damn Players Ball on the movie The Mac, and you look at these little conscious and collective gatherings where niggas dressed up in costumes, and it's not even Halloween. You got big ass onks on and whatnot. Are you serious? You understand? No. Come as you are. Like I told that sister in the class, I said, I'm not interested in your Islam. I'm not interested in your belief. She came and she was honest. She said she was listening for a minute until a nigger woman lost her mind. And then she cooned out. But she said, the sister who was Muslim, she was like, I could see myself being part of this, but I still want to keep my beliefs. I'm like, then you can't be part of this. We don't want no Muslims with us. We don't want no Christians with us. We don't want no Israelites with us. We only want mentalists with us. We want receivers, people who become blank in their way of thinking and who are ready to receive higher intelligence via mentellect. That's what we want. Future thinkers. I said, bring your mind to us blank. We don't want to hear your philosophy because everything that's in your mind is nothing but some BS from the white man or some goddamn Arabs or some East Indians. That's what you're bringing to us. That's what you bringing their philosophy. We don't want their philosophy in here. You understand? We're trying to produce purified thinkers, people who are using their natural intelligence. We don't need their goddamn philosophy in here. Just because you feel like you do or you ain't ready to let that go, that's your problem. We don't want your problem. If we got to sacrifice you and let you go out into the world, go back to your Islamic world and praying 5 times a day, that world that ain't going to never change, you go back and do that. But there was a reason why you said you could see yourself being part of it, because part of you felt the connection and the power in what we were doing, but the rest of you wouldn't let it go. That's one foot in the future and one foot in the past. You understand that? That's what that is. People who are afraid to move into the future. People that are afraid to move into the future. That's what that is. That's all that registers as. We are not afraid to move into the future. No longer. July 22nd, Superman, Superwoman Project 3. No holds barred. No sugarcoating. No abstract teaching. Just plain, raw, straight, advanced intelligence and logic. That's all we given in the knowledge of intellect. No abstract teachings. We don't want to hear nobody's goddamn beliefs anymore. This is what it is. We laying it out for the future. What it is, future knowledge. This is what we laying it out for. I didn't get a chance to give that last time, but July 22nd, bet your ass I will. Bet your ass I will. I don't care who don't like it. We got a remedy for any problems that we encountered in the first one. If our people want the truth, the real truth, the sincere ones of our people want the truth, the unadulterated truth of what's going to take place in the future, come to the Supermen, Superwomen Project. Because, like I said, the word Supermen, Superwomen is short for supermental projection. It's not about no goddamn capes and all that. It's about supermental projection. That's what it's short for. Advanced thinking, higher intelligence, receiving higher intelligence, future thought, putting us into a purified mental state to move forward, to bring about these higher capabilities like thinking faster than the average person, doing things, all that urban farming and stuff like that. That's easy. That's not no big part of the project. That's very small. Urban farming is easy. You understand? Self-defense. We're going to teach a new system of self-defense called Menteca, which means continuous arm enabling. But that comes in time with people who are raising up together. Future knowledge, future people, future thought, mentellect. Door was open to higher intelligence by Dr. Malachi Z. York. Thank you, Dr. York. We've come to the end of our broadcast. Join us. It's Wednesday. We're not going to do a broadcast Friday. And probably not Monday. No, matter of fact, we're not. Well, we might do. No, we're not going to do a broadcast. We're not going to be on the air Friday and Monday. We'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. And we're going to be talking about concentration and fixation and how to strengthen it. See, because our people have a big problem with that. All right? We will be talking about that heavily, hardcore. All right? Wednesday night, join us. There will be no State of Intel Radio this Friday or Monday. All right? I am the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz. Good night.